Hello there and welcome to the Liverpool versus Shrewsbury review, where Liverpool last night won 1-0. Yes, it was an own goal by Roshan Williams. Thank you to the ex-Manchester United player for absolutely putting a beautiful header over his own goalkeeper. But you know what? Regardless of the own goal and all that sort of business, we fully deserved to win that game, no matter what. Yes, Shrewsbury had it in the back of the net at one point. And it was a fairly nice passing move, but there was offside in the build-up, and we had VAR this time. Now, I do disagree. I think disagree wasn't the right word I was looking for just then, but I don't think it's right to have VAR in one fixture and not have it in the other. It's either you have it in both or you don't have it in either. Now, obviously, that would have gone against us in this instance. Obviously, I want my team to win, no matter what we do, apart from the Carabao Cup and really the FA Cup as well. But I'm always wanting the team to win whenever we play. And the fact that the VAR went in our favour yesterday, look, it's vindicated as well. There was an offside in the build-up, and it shouldn't have been allowed. Shrewsbury team and all that lot probably, will feel hard done by because they didn't have VAR in the first fixture, but it should have done. And I always think, if you're going to play these games, to lower league teams and stuff like that, find a way to get it implemented or don't have it involved in the competition at all. That is my thoughts on, and I'm a fan of VAR in general when it's right. And it was right yesterday. But there's just, I don't know, you can't have it in one fixture and not have it in the other. It doesn't create an aura of fairness. If you get what I mean, there was some instances in the Shrewsbury game when we played away where if VAR was involved, we probably would have won that game, in my opinion. Anyway, but anyway, let's crack on. Anyway, anyone that did manage to find a way to watch it, well done, because I couldn't. I had to stay up for the highlights that were at 12 o'clock, midnight or something like that. What an absolute shambles by the FA, but I'm going to do all that at the end of the video. I've got a lot of opinion to talk about a few different things as well. But by all means, when I looked at the stats that were available anyway, we had 58% possession, a lot more shots, a lot more shots on target, creating chances, and everybody up and down the pitch for us looked magnificent, in my opinion. Anyway, obviously we expected Curtis Jones to be a standout player, and he was. He led that team as the youngest captain in Liverpool Football Club history now. He led it by example. He really did. All the flicks and turns and stuff that he did, and the scoop turn nutmeg that he did against someone as well. Just a fantastic player. Curtis Jones is. But everybody was. Miller up front and Harvey Elliott was fantastic. Chirivella in the midfield was running it really nicely. From what I could see, again, highlights were all that we got. I felt that Jake Kane and Clarkson did really well in the midfield as well. Again, from what we saw, Williams very attacking, very attacking. Nico Williams or Neko, I don't know how you say his first name. I'm going to say Nico. Nico Williams, very attacking, and to be honest, he could have had a hatful of goals himself. Unreal performance. Adam Lewis, I felt, did well on the left-hand side as well. Obviously, I think a couple of us were maybe expecting Larouci, but I think he picked up an injury or something in a previous game during the week or something like that. Anyway, and honestly, I felt that Kelleher, Hover, and Van den Berg as the centre backs were fantastic. I'm tempted to put almost a joint sort of man of the match between Hover and Van den Berg as well. Obviously, Curtis Jones was fantastic. He was absolutely brilliant, and there's a lot of players in there that could deserve a man of the match. But I feel defensively, because Van den Berg especially hasn't been getting the rave reviews in the youth games and stuff like that. He's definitely a player. There is a player there, and he needs to develop. And he will develop over the years. But this was probably one of his that we see at a senior level, probably one of his best games. And by the looks of it, he had a very good game as well. Helped keep Shrewsbury quiet as well, keep their chances at a minimum. And I felt that was really good. And the same goes for Hover as well. Hover's had a bit more experience in the first team than Van den Berg. But hey, absolutely fantastic performance by the entire team. Shrewsbury presented a challenge. They certainly did. And whether it's this whole, the power of Anfield sort of thing, like coming true like it has done so many times, maybe it was something like that because they tried and in the they did a similar sort of game plan to what they did in the first leg, or I say the first fixture, not first leg. In that they played a sort of mediocre game in the first half, and in the second half they were going to up their energy levels and come out and try and press and be aggressive and everything like that. And it nearly worked for them when they got their goal, and it was ruled out by VAR, rightly so as well. Like that was pretty much, obviously they've come with a similar sort of game plan. We were able to hold out and put our game plan into effect much better, and it's a massive credit to the youngsters that played in that game. People obviously, offhand just say it's our under-23s team. You need to look at the average age of that team. The average age of that team, according to SofaScore, is 19.3 years. That's not under-23s. I think the oldest person on the pitch was Chiravella, who's 22. It's just, Harvey Elliott, 16. I think Curtis Jones, 18, something like that. Like, it's not just, it's the under-23s. It's not. You're taking a hatful of under-23s, under-21s, even maybe a little bit younger than that as well, especially obviously with Harvey Elliott being 16. And they played so maturely. They played with such an aura of confidence, and it was mentioned after the game as well, they played in exactly the similar sort of style to the first team. And that's a massive credit to every one of the academy coaches, Jurgen Klopp, and everyone involved. Neil Critchley as well. You've got to give massive credit to Critchley as well, because it was quite clearly the right decision to have Neil Critchley manage that game, because he knows those players so well. He knows those players much better than Jurgen Klopp does. It's ridiculous when people say that Jurgen Klopp should have been there. It's a disgrace that he wasn't there. But that'd be like saying, I don't know, Neil Critchley taking over the first team. Not going to know them as well. It's a more, I don't want to say talented, but it's obviously more experienced, and it is it's a better team, the first team. But he still doesn't know the players like he knows the younger team. It makes sense for me anyway. It still makes complete sense for me. And then we go on. We play Chelsea in the next round. So it's a massive credit to everybody involved, and all the decisions that we've been, derided for recently. Jurgen Klopp not wanting to take the first team there and let them have their break. Jurgen Klopp not actually going to, coach the team and stuff like that. Just playing the kids, as it has been called all week, and since the replay was confirmed. Having Neil Critchley take over the team and manage the team that he knows best, and put out a good team, put out a good performance, dominate the game. It was fantastic, and all of these decisions have been vindicated. They absolutely have. Now, when I flick over onto Sky Sports last night after the game, and it's met with the debate between, what's his name? Danny Murphy and Matthew Upson. And one of the questions was, are you happy to see Liverpool go through? Danny Murphy gave a balanced answer. He didn't want to just turn around and say, as a former Liverpool player, and didn't want to just turn around and say, yeah, I'm absolutely glad they've gone through. He obviously didn't want to disrespect Shrewsbury. He came across with a fair answer. Matthew Upson, on the other hand, turns around and says it would have been nice for them to have paid a price for it, to see them go out. What? Pay a price for what? Tell me what we're paying a price for. How is it that people like Matthew Upson and other people in the media as well, not just, these guys, I'm talking like the guy from Accrington Stanley as well, the chairman or whatever. I'm talking about other people in the media. Maybe it's Daily Mail, Telegraph, Sky Sports, BT Sport, whatever, beIN Sports and stuff like that. Like, what would we have paid a price for? What are we paying a price for? The FA and their incompetence? The FA and the Premier League combined in the fact that they cannot communicate with each other? The fact that the Premier League sent out a letter to every single Premier League club stating clearly, do not schedule competitive matches during this winter break. It is a winter break that is meant to recuperate and recharge the batteries of your players both mentally and physically. Do not, under any circumstances, schedule competitive matches. So what did the FA do? Schedule FA Cup replay matches during the winter break. So what is Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool and the team meant to do? So when Jurgen Klopp takes a stand, when probably every other manager has probably wanted to take a stand and felt that they can't, Jurgen Klopp had the power to do it. Not just that, he had the balls to do it as well and stick by it. Some people felt that he might crumble under the media pressure, that he might actually have to show up himself. If his first team aren't going to, he'll have to. Then you don't understand the manager we have. This is a man with principles. A man that would probably live and die by his principles as well. He stands by what he believes in. And I absolutely... It's why most of us, if not the vast majority of us, and not all of us, absolutely love Jurgen Klopp. Because he sticks by what he says. If he says he's going to do something, you're damn sure he's going to do it. And if it comes off, great. If it doesn't come off, then that's too bad. This time it came off. It worked. People still bringing up the Carabao Cup against Aston Villa, where that similar sort of team that we played yesterday got beat 5-0 by Aston Villa. Fair play. But we had to play within 22 hours of the Club World Cup. Like, you cannot expect a first team to play in the Carabao Cup, what was it, quarterfinal, something like that, play there, fly out, play 22 hours later somewhere else and be nice and fresh and fit and no injuries or anything like that. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand where people in the media and people like Matthew Upson, what price are we paying? If anyone's paid the price here, it is Shrewsbury, due to the pettiness of the FA. Because the FA decided, all right, fine, Jurgen Klopp, you're not going to take your team, you're not going to take your first team, and all that sort of business. No bother. We're not releasing any of the live footage or anything like that. You can all just watch highlights. Congratulations, Shrewsbury. You're not making any money out of this one. Obviously, Shrewsbury come out and say they lose, thanks to Liverpool, we're losing 500 grand from that match. You can say thanks to Liverpool. You need to take your grievances to the FA, I'm afraid. You need to take your grievances to the FA and actually get a little bit up here and understand what's actually going on. You can't have it both ways. 3 ways, if anything. And the 3 ways are, you can't have it where the Premier League are turning around and saying, don't schedule matches and then schedule matches, right? You then can't just expect us to turn up with the first team, exhaust our first team after an exhaustive Premier League schedule, break the rules of the Premier League. You can't have them do that either. And thirdly, people always complain that young players are never being given a chance in the first team. We've given 3 debuts last night and gave more experience again to younger players, a great valuable experience, and an experience where they went and won the game, were very competitive, dominated the game, played good football, and walked away with the win, moving on into the next round. Now, whether these guys feature in some way against Chelsea, that will remain to be seen. I imagine it's going to be a bit of a mixture of first team and some of these younger guys as well. That's what I imagine. And that is another talking point for some of these guys. Oh, is Jurgen Klopp now going to let these young lads just go and play against Chelsea, giving it the old head wobble, all that sort of stuff? Matthew Upson, I don't actually remember if you were a football player or not. But, man, stick that attitude in the bin. Take your attitude, crunch it up, and put it in the bin. Because you don't know, at this sort of club level, and the level that Liverpool are operating at the moment, the fact that we're still on for a treble this season, with what we've won already this season, the Club World Cup and the Super Cup and stuff like that as well, what more can Liverpool do? We haven't pulled out of a competition, which I believe Manchester United did in the year 2000. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did they actually pull out all together? From what I remember, pulled the team out. Now, we didn't do that. We still put a team out there. I'm just saying, I defend my team whenever it is necessary. And it is very necessary here. Yes, they call it the debate, so someone's got to be the controversial one. They can't just sit there and just go, yeah, I agree. They can't just sit there because then it's not a TV show. I get that. And maybe he's just wanting to be the bad guy in it. But turning around saying that Liverpool should pay a price. Pay a price for what? We were competitive. We went out there and won the game. And to Shrewsbury Town, if you're operating your football club on the fact that of an FA Cup replay and making 500 grand from that, maybe don't own a football club. Because most businesses that operate that way don't last. Maybe get a different business model. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, we go on to the next round. That's a rant over. That's a little bit of a longer video than normal. But we go on to the next round. We face Chelsea. It's going to be a tough game. Definitely. They're going to want to win that. They're going to want to win some silverware this season. But I want to take it away from them. Let me know what you think in the comments below. How did you feel about last night? Did you get to watch the game, or are you just proud that the young lads have done it and put in a great performance and got a great experience as well? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do like it and subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you once again, and I'll catch you later.